Okay, hello everybody and welcome to Pet Feature Live. So today I do have a special guest. If you've already read the title, obviously you will know. But today for Pet Feature Live, I have my tarantula and try not to talk too loud just because that can actually kind of alarm them. Mostly because when you're talking a lot, you get a lot of breath and it kind of scares them. But yeah, try to fix my lighting a little bit here. But yes, so Xena is going to be with us for a few minutes. I'll probably only have her for like the first 12 minutes or so of this video, but I thought that she would be a great next Pet Feature Live. As you guys can see, she has gotten so big. She is a lot bigger than when I first got her. When I first got her, she was so tiny, it was crazy. But yeah, so I do want to mention to you guys that if you haven't been here for a while, I am doing live streams every Tuesday now. It is a thing every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So if you can ever come or if you can tell your friends, spread the word so that everybody can stop by. Hey, she's a nice tarantula. Oh, thank you. When are you going to get rats live? Like I said before, my ratties are no longer with me anymore, so most of them actually died of old age. Well, all of them did. Is the tarantula your familiar? Not sure what you mean by that. But I don't really show her often just because you'll notice I flinched. It's because she was fast moving for a minute. But I don't show her often, not for any particular reason. I suppose I don't, really have quite a lot of topics I can think about to talk about with tarantulas, but she's real sweet. She does kick hairs, so if you guys are familiar with what that means, kicking hairs is basically like, it's what it is. Like, they take their back legs and they kind of kick the little tiny hairs that they have on their rump area right there. And that's just another way of saying, like, go away. Most of them do it quite a lot, but yeah. She is so cute. But like I said, I don't want to have her here too long. See if I can give you guys a better view on her. So she definitely likes it when I hold her with two hands. She feels a lot more supported when I do two hands. I kind of noticed that along the way. Ooh. And if you've ever felt a tarantula on you, like, it feels very, what's the word, like, they have these little tiny hooks kind of like at the bottom of each little toe, and it feels prickly. Can you put them on your chest while watching TV or kiss them? I probably wouldn't recommend it because you never know what's going to happen with that. There's nothing to fear, I don't think, from tarantulas when you're just holding them, but putting your face close up to them is probably not the best idea because they might get alarmed at something. You never know. They could kick hairs in your face or something like that. Most tarantulas don't just bite you. Try turning off the lights on the aquarium. Oh, for my tarantula? Okay. Guess. Anyway. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. Would you recommend gargoyle or crested geckos? Both of them are pretty good. I like either one, honestly. They're both really good starter pets. I mean, I never tried gargoyle geckos like previously. I started off with the crested geckos, like my crested gecko, he's up there. But either one's pretty. Yeah, I think she feels more comfortable on my arm right now. When they get much bigger, you'll find that they feel more supported when you have like two hands to use. I learned to never hold them while wearing a wool sweater. Yeah, they don't like certain fabrics, they really don't like, and they can also get hooked on to certain fabrics, so you got to be real careful. Isn't that right? I just got a ball python. Oh, why isn't your tarantula a thick? Well, I think that could be a male. I don't know, but it really doesn't matter. I call him or her Xena because I'm just like, whatever. I won't actually know for sure until it's a boy, until I see tibial hooks on it, so. But yeah, no big rump right now. Come here, baby. She's like, no. There we go. Yeah, but some fabrics they can get kind of caught onto because that's kind of how their little toes are. And I do actually prefer these guys to rose hairs. I know a lot of people have rose hairs, but I really prefer these guys more than rose hairs because they honestly, I don't know, I just feel like they're more chill. I had a rose hair, and I had worked with some rose hairs in the pet shop that I used to work at, but I really didn't like the way rose hairs were. Most of the time, a lot of them were pretty flighty, I guess you could say. And pink toes tend to be a lot more flighty than this too, so they're quite a hassle. Did you learn from caring for your pets at a young age? Not really. I didn't get into pets until I want to say like maybe 5 years ago or so, maybe 4 years ago, something like that. So it hasn't been very long, but I want to say like 2014, I really started getting into pets. But I learned a lot within a very short time. So, yeah. I remember the first time I got her, it was so tough because I really didn't want to handle her much because I was so afraid of losing her because she was this small when I got her, very small. Would you ever suggest getting a baby tarantula? Yeah, so like I was saying, I got mine as a baby, like a super small baby, very, very small. And I think it's okay. However, when they're that small, I would say be very careful with handling because you could lose them easily. I personally did not like really having her as a baby. When she was like when she finally got to a certain size, I didn't mind. But I could not handle the stress. How old is, I think that, sorry, if you guys see me flinch, it's because she moves fast, because I breathe on her by accident sometimes, and so I get scared of, like, dropping her. But I think I got her, she might be, like, 4 years old now, something like that. No, 3 years old. She might be 3 years old, something like that. She's not very old. Hi, everyone. Hey, how are you? Who is your oldest pet? Bugsy, I think. Yeah, Bugsy's like definitely our oldest cat. So. Yep. I wouldn't say I have the most experience with tarantulas out of the animals that I do keep, I have only had 2 tarantulas in my whole life, counting this one, of course. And I will say that I learned a lot from my first experience, and there were some ups and downs about it, but I definitely learned a lot, and I am really, really glad that I have learned that much. And luckily, because I have learned so much, now this one doesn't have to suffer from it. But yeah, I mean, you learn at your own pace. The downfall with tarantulas is the hair kicking. I really hate the hair kicking. She did so much hair kicking when I woke up today, so I was trying to handle her so that I could kind of get a feel for it before I did it today. And it was super annoying because she did so much hair kicking, and ugh, I hated it. I only have 2. I got them to get over my arachnophobia. I can't hold my tarantulas. Hold on, you guys. I can't hold my tarantulas now, though I can't get to them often, but am still scared of house spiders. How are you not scared of the bite? You kind of get a feel for it. It's hard to explain, but I'll admit when I first held a tarantula for the very first time, I was terrified. But I was researching so much about tarantula care, and I was getting too excited, and I feel like the more you see people handle them, the more you get, like, the more you're not as scared. So just watch a lot of videos of people handling them, what tarantulas are suggested the most. I suggest, of course, the red knee more than other tarantulas. That's just my personal take on it. I have liked keeping a red knee a lot better than a rose hair. Most people are going to tell you rose hairs, and I'm not going to say that that's not correct, because they can be okay, but it's not my overall pick. However, red knees are not going to be as cheap as rose hairs. Rose hairs usually go about $15.99 or something like that in the store, but I actually got Xena for $80, which can seem like a lot for a tarantula, but you have to remember tarantulas aren't the most common pet, so it does make sense to not make them, super cheap. Just trying to get her off. When you do handle tarantulas, you got to be careful when they are on your shirt and stuff like that, because they can get their little toes kind of like attached. So when you do get them off, do it very lightly and take your time, because it's just they can get hooked a little bit. My ball python is mad because I am switching him to frozen mice. He has not eaten for a month. Any suggestions? Well, when I was trying to get Phoenix to eat, she's like trying to get comfortable. She's so cute. But when I was trying to get Phoenix to eat, it was tough. When he was very young, he did not want to eat. And I started out trying to find the right sizes. So I suggest that whether it's frozen or live, make sure that you are feeding the right size, because that could play into why they're not taking in the food. Another thing is starting out with assist feeding. Watch lots of videos on this and get some advice from forums and stuff like that about assist feeding, because you can do it the wrong way if you're not careful. But I did a lot of assist feeding when I was feeding my ball python and he wasn't eating, and over time you're definitely gonna take some time, but they'll get used to eating. And then if they're not eating from there, you could I would make sure that the frozen thawed, like mouse or rat, definitely has definitely is warm enough. If it's not warm enough, they're also not going to take it, so make sure it's very warm. How are you feeding? So I am feeding crickets. to her, and then sometimes I'll also feed mealworms. Make sure you never dust any kind of calcium with your crickets or your worms or anything like that, because it is very important. Because I did it once and everything was fine, but I read a lot of articles about like how, you know, since they don't need any calcium or something like that, like their tooth can fall out. I don't know if that's true, but yeah, tarantulas are not the same as reptiles, so make sure you don't calcium dust anything when you give it to them. I have 4 rats. I love them. Are you thinking of getting more in the future? And I watch your rat videos. Helped me for the first time being a rat owner. Oh, thank you. So I'm not going to anytime soon. In the future, yes, just not anytime soon, because I am taking a lot of time to evaluate everything and kind of get over things. So I'm still not completely over my rats. So I will in the future, but not anytime soon. Cool spider. Thank you. She's a tarantula, but still, thank you. So you do got to be very careful when you have a tarantula to not breathe on them as much as you can. I know it's hard. If you'll see me jump, that is because I am worried about her. Like, she'll jump from me accidentally breathing on her. So you do have to worry about that. I naturally defrost and make sure that it is heated. I understand that you get attached. Thank you. Yeah, still taking a lot of time. Ooh, see her jump like that. And she is now as big as my hand. If you actually see the first few videos of me on this channel when I started out, I originally had her when she was just a tiny little baby, and you could see that video actually when she was very small. Have you ever kept guinea pigs? I have not. I have interacted and cared for many guinea pigs in all the stores that I worked at, so I do have a lot of experience with them and their behaviors and their care. I could give you a full care guide on guinea pigs. Other than that, I haven't personally took care of any in my house. You know what's great about tarantulas that most people don't understand or know is that tarantulas will take a lot from you. Like, you can push and shove them around, and you know, they tolerate a lot. For tarantulas, like they have the capability of being these tough predators, which they are, but in all honesty, they're just big scaredies, really. How many different types of lizards do you own? So I own 2 leopard geckos, 1 crested gecko, 1 gargoyle gecko, and that's it for right now. And then I have a ball python. I have a new pet, which is a small type of pet that I intend to show in my next video, which will be coming out most likely Wednesday. And then I have a jumping spider as well, and I literally never show her, but I do. And do you have ferrets? I do not, but I have a lot of experience with ferrets. Does your tarantula recognize you? I don't think so. I can't say for sure, but I don't think so. She's waving. Look, she has a little toe up. She's like, hi. Yeah. But one thing I have actually realized is I recently I was trying to nudge my tarantula on the side of her cage for some reason. I don't remember why it was. But I was trying to nudge her on the side of her cage the other day, and she recognized what the tongs were. So I feed her with tongs. Like, I drop something in with tongs, like with a cricket or, you know, a worm or something. And she attacked the tongs, and I freaked out. And I guess that pretty much means that she knows what the tongs are for. She knows that she gets fed with those. So if you're asking if they can recognize anything, I do think they can recognize things. So if she can recognize tongs, I guess maybe she could recognize me, but I can't say for sure. So, okay. It was sad when all of a sudden I became allergic to my rats. Oh, I miss them. Oh, that is sad. How do you recognize if a mouse is a girl or a boy? Oh, it is pretty simple. When they're super duper young, it's very hard to tell. It's like very subtle. But as they get older, you'll notice if they're male or female. Like once they get older, and they get older very fast, you'll see like two large balls. So very simple. You'll see testicles if it's a boy. Do you own a rattlesnake? No, goodness no. Okay, you guys, so I am going to put Xena up. Everyone say goodbye to Xena. I'm gonna put her up now. Say bye, girl. Okay. Come on, baby. There we go. Okay. I just didn't want to have her be here too long because, you know, over time, she can get a little stressed. So I don't want to push the envelope with that. If you guys want, I can take her out like towards the end of the live stream too. Okay, teas are so much fun to keep. They are. I've interacted with quite a few. I would say my least favorite is probably the Goliath bird eater, but that's because they're just so large. There is a limit. I do have a limit. And the Goliath bird eaters are my limit when it comes to tarantulas. I think they're beautiful. I just wouldn't want to handle them. And not only are they large, but I heard that they can be quite aggressive too. So large and aggressive, no. Not gonna happen. It is hard. Is it hard to do a live stream because you might miss up? No, not really. I've gotten used to it over time. I think I definitely was nervous when I first started it. I remember when I first started my very first live stream, I was super nervous. Like insanely nervous, but now it's like nothing. I've done so many live streams in my time that it's just like I remember definitely though when I started, like I hated it. My ratties have passed away. All of them. They all died from old age, which is good. I'm glad that they died from old age and not something crazy or something. Tuesday are my favorites because of the live streams. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I am bummed out about it, but you know, I mean, I think I'm going to do a video about it one day. Eventually, I'll do a video on explaining everything that probably happened with each of them. But right now, I don't know. I thought that maybe I would get new rats possibly after they passed away. But I just don't like the idea of getting a new pet right after something dies. It doesn't even have to be the same kind of pet. I just don't think it's a good thing to just go out and buy any new pet when a pet dies. It's like, I feel like it's not a lot of respect to the animal. I feel like it's kind of just saying like you want them as a possession rather than they were your friends. And I was completely torn up when Charlie died because the way he died was really sad. Like, he had the same problem that happens with older rats, but he had the same problem as Oscar did, and he only died like 1 month apart from Oscar. Like, Oscar died, and then 1 month later, Charlie dies. And I knew that was going to happen because they spent so much time together. They were together for you know, their whole lives. So I knew that was going to happen, and I was so sad about it. And when Charlie got sick, he didn't pass very fast. Like, his passing was taking an extremely long time, so I had to go put him down at the vet. I got him looked at, and I asked the vet, is there anything we can do before I have to put him down, because I want to know if there's anything we could really do. And he said no, and it was just heartbreaking. And after that, I'm like, I don't see how I can buy new rats anytime soon. Just can't do it. My pit bull passed away yesterday. She was 9 years old. Oh, I'm sorry. Would you ever do a meet and greet? Absolutely. I finally found a reptile expo near my town. Is there any way to tell if teas are not feeling good? Yeah, it actually is difficult as opposed to some other animals you have, because tarantulas don't really have a face. You can't see if they're like tired or anything, or hot or anything like that. There are distinct things. So if it's not time for your tarantula to molt, let's say they molt recently or something, and it's nowhere near time for them to molt, if they're showing slowness and things like that, definitely you want to be on top of that, because it's not normal for a tarantula to be very slow. So what I would always say, and it's tough to help tarantulas because there aren't really doctors out there that can help tarantulas, in my opinion. Not that I know of anyway. But what I would do is reevaluate the setup. Look at the setup. Try to think, like, are they getting too much moisture? Are they getting not enough moisture? You know, how's the room temp? How's the temperature in your room? If they're not eating and it's still not time for them to molt anytime soon, also a factor to show if they're not feeling good. If you're trying to handle your tarantula and they're always turning around, like always turning around every single time you're trying to handle them, that is signs of, no, do not pick me up, or I will bite you, or do hairs at you, whatever. But if your tarantula is like letting you nudge them and they're going on away, that means that they're totally okay with you touching them. But if they're completely turning around when you're trying to touch them, there's something wrong there. Because my rose hair used to do this all the time, and it was the most annoying thing. I hated it because she would never stop doing it, so I could never handle her. But yeah, those are subtle signs. They're basically all signs of pre-molt behavior, but let's say your tarantula isn't supposed to be molting anytime soon, and they're doing that. That's a problem. So yeah. So my pet mouse has been sneezing a lot, and I gave it some antibiotics. Is that good? So if it's sneezing, it's definitely signs of respiratory infection, which is, we all know, very, very common with mice. So obviously you want to get it checked out at the vet, and if your vet's already giving you antibiotics and things like that, then just make sure that you're treating on the regular schedule, and it should clear up. Are you going to do a snake video? I did a snake video recently, so go and watch that one. And I have another ball python video coming up soon, so don't you worry. I have 3 cresties, 2 leopard geckos, 2 ferrets, and I'm slowly getting into fish. Oh, wow. Nice. Get into those fish. My friend's ratty died today at 1:37. Oh. I started with 1 T, and now I've got over 60. Awesome. One thing I actually want to get into is I want to learn how to breed tarantulas, because they're so beautiful. I love the way they are. And I just think what I like about tarantulas is they're an interesting species. They're not your everyday, like, it's just the way they look is so interesting, and the fact that they look like a huge spider is amazing. It just amazes me. So, but I do have an interest in spiders in general, which is why I got a jumping spider. I think they're so cute. Jumping spiders are low-key very cute. Okay, I'm going to take this off the charger because it's telling me it's getting hot, so. What is your email? I want to email you about my pets. Okay, so the email that I have, it should be in the about section of my channel, so you can go to it by doing that. You can also go to petadventuresconnect@gmail.com. Again, that's petadventuresconnect@gmail.com. That is where you guys can just send me whatever you want. Let me just see. Not to kill you. No, I didn't think that. Now I do. So now you can't email me. How big do ball pythons get? So a max size for a ball python is 5 feet, but that's really only with females. Most males are going to be around 3 feet. You can get them up to 4 feet if fed really, really well, but that's only if you're feeding them really well. And I don't know if you guys can kind of see my little goldfish back here, but I still got those guys. When you see eggs turn into eggs with legs and they start moving around, is so great to see. Oh, I've never seen it. It's got to be the cutest thing ever, though. I don't know, but I would have to get over my fear of, because I have a fear with animals that like are small, really, really tiny, small, and can move around. Like, it's a weird problem I have where, like, I freak out so much because I'm afraid of losing them because they're this tiny and they can move super fast. It scares me to the max. I hate it. I love your fish tanks. Thank you. I want to put something into my E20 gal sometime soon. People tell me all the time, why are you scared of spiders but not snakes? Easy question. I was always raised around snakes. My dad has them. Yeah. Well, I feel like I've always felt like if you're going to be afraid of one of those, probably a spider, because, I don't know, spiders in some ways are kind of creepier, to be honest. And I know I own some, it's just that, I don't know, if you're gonna pick one that looks creepier, it's gotta be them. Because snakes have a tendency to be more cute in the face, so. But when you, the funny thing is most people are scared of things that they don't really understand. That's usually the case. There are some cases where people just have straight phobias of random things, but most people are scared of something because they don't know anything about them. I have the same reaction to iguanas. Iguanas? How could you be scared of them? Although, the funny thing is like, people don't think about it, but iguanas can do a lot of damage to you. When they're really large, like fully grown, and they whip you with their tail, they can actually leave a real mark and actually make you bleed from a strong whip. On top of that, their claws are insanely sharp. So I actually held an iguana that was sick in the exotic pet shop that I worked at. And this iguana was just very lethargic and very sick, and that one actually did some damage to me with its claws. So I can only imagine what a awake, healthy iguana could do to me. It's funny, a lot of people don't take into account that some of the cutest animals can hurt you. Like how I said in my last live stream, even though rats are like super cute and hamsters and mice, all of those are super cute, they can do more damage to you than like a fully grown pet ball python, you know? Like their bites hurt a lot worse, which is why when you feed your ball python, you're supposed to watch it when it's eating, because obviously a rat can do a lot more damage, like I said. I sent you the email. Okay, thank you. See, you can see my little goldfish back here. I got my first ball python last week. Oh, That's cute. I've had Phoenix for 3 years now or something. And by the way, you guys, we are almost done featuring most of my pets. I still got a few pets to do. And, sorry, you guys, I gotta... I gotta do this because the way I'm sitting, it's like my back is not feeling good. But, yeah. We're almost done featuring most of my pets. We only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe like 6 more pets to feature. But most of my pets have already been featured. As for the aquatics pets, I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. I still want to get them in a live stream somehow. I don't know how I'm going to do that just yet. I'll have to think about it. But yeah, after I'm done featuring all the pets, I'll just reoccurringly bring them in. So what I'm going to do next is, like, the titles of my next live streams are just going to be random titles, like, that we're going to talk about, like the topics we're going to talk about. And then on top of that, I'll still have a pet to feature while we talk about random things. So in the pet feature lives that I've been doing recently, I've just been focusing, like, the title has been focused on what pet I'm bringing. But after I've brought all the pets I can bring on to Pet Feature Live, then we'll just start talking about random topics, and I'll always just have a pet kind of with me. So if that doesn't make sense, you'll see later. Hamsters are evil. I had one hanging from my finger and it would not let go. They're pretty bad. And I remember I had some really painful bites from hamsters, like super painful. And hamsters actually tend to bite you a lot more than mice and rats. So I do not recommend right off the bat handling rats, hamsters, and mice and gerbils. All those things I do not recommend handling without a glove or at least checking it out. Like, put an object in front of that animal before you actually handle it, because all those animals, they may be aggressive. Like, you can't just reach in, put your hand in, and assume that they're going to be all friendly. Doesn't matter how cute they look, don't assume that they're super friendly. I have had so many hamsters bite me for me just putting my hands in the tanks and stuff like that. So don't do that. When you're encountering a rat, mouse, hamster, gerbil, all those, if you're encountering them for the first time, what I recommend is just putting an object in front of them. My rat's teeth are red. Well, they are supposed to be kind of a yellowish color, like a yellowish red color. That's kind of normal, but if they're like super red, that's probably not good. That's not normal. But yeah, they have the potential to do a lot of damage. Like, you guys got to remember, these animals can chew through wood. If they can chew through wood, they can chew through our sensitive skin. So I know that it's hard to take in because people are like, oh, they're so cute, you know, hamsters are so cute, but no, and they also don't like being handled. Like, hamsters don't like being handled. No matter how tame your hamster is, they're not going to like being handled. Now, that doesn't mean that they can't get used to you and stuff, and that they'll like coming out and stuff, of course. And absolutely, a lot of people always get so upset when I say that a hamster is not as good of a pet as rats are. The reason why I say that is because I have had both. And from my experience, hamsters just, you don't get the same bond as you do with rats. With rats, it's like, if you're looking for an animal that will cling onto you and want to hang out with you and want to cuddle with you, then get a rat, because rats really are like that. And hamsters are different. Does that mean they're a bad pet? No. Does that mean that you can't bond with them? No. I just mean you don't get the same kind of bond. Bonds with hamsters are different. Like, they don't like it when they're being handled. That's not how the bonding process is with them. The bonding process with hamsters is simply just, how do I put it? Like, okay, so when I used to handle my hamsters, sometimes I would, well, not handle them, but when I used to hang out with them, I used to put them in my bathroom with me, and my hamsters would often get on top of me and kind of run around my legs and stuff, and they would do it often. And if your hamster is putting their scent on you, which is something that they do, and you'll notice that they do this, when they're rubbing their sides on things, that means that they're putting their scent all over things. It's just a hamster thing. It's really strange, but they do that. If they're doing that on you, that's a good thing, because that means they're putting their scent on you. But it's just a different bond. And in my personal view, I'm not really into that bond as much as I am with the rat bonding. It's more fun with rat bonding. But that's just my personal view. So if you have had better experiences with hamsters versus rats, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, let me see if I can go down some of these questions. My gosh, you guys, my phone is getting so hot right now. I might have to cut this live stream short. Yeah, so the snake videos will definitely be on soon, like really soon. I've been trying to emphasize a little more on those because I feel like I haven't, for the past year or so, I haven't covered as much on snakes as I've wanted to. My favorite rodent is definitely rats, for sure. And I pretty much stated throughout my whole career kind of on YouTube why, but like I said, you get that companionship. And they also greet you, is what I like about rats. Like when you come home from school or work, whatever the case may be, like they greet you. Like you come up to their cage and they greet you. They'll climb up on the highest part of the cage so that they can get as close to you as possible. And they're super silly. They're always doing something hilarious. They're always kind of bickering with their cage mates. There's so many endless funny things that they do. So that's what I like about them. By the way, you guys, I'm going to go see a movie after this. I'm going to see Rebel Wilson's movie. If you guys don't know who she is Fat Amy from Pitch Perfect. I really like her movies. She's very funny. I want a blue-tongued skink. Blue-tongued skinks are awesome. They're a lot of fun in terms of like their behavior. Their behavior is really nice. Blue-tongued skinks are they're very, very funny. So, who do you guys think I'm going to feature next on my live stream? Leave me some stuff in the chat. You also can tell me on Instagram. So, the deal with on Instagram is that whatever pet you want to see here on Pet Feature Live, all you have to do is get my back. Gotta get a better position next time. But if you want to request a certain pet, all you have to do is follow me on Instagram. You have to follow me on Instagram. And then leave a direct message on Instagram of what pet you want to see next on Pet Feature Live. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can get Xena out one last time. And then we'll go. And that's it. Alright, you guys, just give me 1 second. She's probably like, why are you doing this to me today? Okay. Oh, why is your little toe wet? I guess she got it in her water or something like that. Here she is again. My little tarantula. I like how she keeps one little toe up. It's kind of hard to see, but she has like one little toe here. I used to have a female cage for rats, and I used to get it. Bleh. I used to have a female cage for rats, and one of my male's rats would escape to get to the females no matter what I did. Well, you gotta make sure that that's like super caged up, like super tight. I know that like the critter nations and stuff, they should have a good lock on it. I remember there was a pretty good system. You also can, like, depending on the cage, you can also like get like little twisty ties. You also can get little twisty ties to kind of tighten up things on your cage as well. Hey, I just got here. Sorry. How are you? Anybody is welcome. We're happy if anybody can come. We're just showing my tarantula who is trying to find. See, she likes it when I have a little bit of two hands for stableness. But yeah, so welcome. Just showing my live stream right now. Any questions are welcome right now. Any pet questions? My rats never leave each other alone. Aww. Also, you guys, so whoever's here, I really want to ask you guys a favor. So I am trying to do a Q&A on Instagram. I don't know if anyone's asked any questions, but I'm trying to do a Q&A right now on Instagram on my stories right now. So please go ask me some pet questions on Instagram. I really need it right now. So if you don't know my Instagram, I always have the link to it in my description box. And I always share it like at the end of my videos. At the end of every single video I have, I always show you guys my Instagram username as well. So it's pet_adventures_. So try to find me on Instagram, you guys. If there's anyone in the chat that's already on my Instagram with me, please send the link to whoever may not have it, because I want you guys to go see it. Hi, Tarantula. Say hi. Say hi. Man, you guys, I have had hairs kicked onto my arm before. I'm telling you guys, it is not that bad, but it is super annoying. Like, it gets really itchy. I just got done going to a vivarium reptile store, and I held my snake. That was very pretty. Aww. What kind of snake do you have? Let me know. Let me know. I just have the ball python for right now. Ball python? Nice. Very nice. Sweet animal. Yeah, she is. She's a very sweet girl. Oh, a banana. Very nice. Have they dropped the price on bananas recently? Because for a long time, like, they've been so pricey. Actually, I heard that when they first made them, they were like, I think they said they were over like $500. Now I think they're like $300 or something like that. Like, how much was your banana that you got? Like 300 and something? 400? I don't know. Mine was only like $75. He was so cheap. 350, yeah, so like I said, 300, 400. But yeah, Phoenix was really cheap. He was only 75 bucks. And I got him from a reptile breeder. That's because he's like not that high quality. He's not a very high quality ball python, but I really don't care. I love him anyway. She has a little... She's got a little stuff on her butt. My ball python was 100. Oh, that's really good. 100 is still really good. You like a fully grown 5-foot ball python sometimes can go for like if it's just a regular ball python, they're really cheap. They're like $80 or something, which is really good. Even 100 I'll pay for. I just don't like paying like 300, 500. I originally wanted a pied ball python. Oh, sorry, baby. Sorry. I originally wanted a pied ball python, but I just couldn't afford it. So I got Phoenix. Yeah. You guys, I was so close to losing her one time. Well, I don't know if I would have lost her, but like, I remember she was having like a terrible molting issue, and I had to like last minute save her from the molting issue. It was so crazy. So she couldn't get her molt. It was like heavily attached to her on her rump area, and I had to moisten it with some purified water, and luckily I got her out of it, but it was so scary. What do I think of bunnies? Bunnies are great pets. I like them. They're definitely good as long as you have the space. I have 2 rats, and my mom is scared of any rodent. She is scared to come in my room. OMG, that's so crazy. My ball python was 40. 40 is really good too. My pink-toed tarantula is dead, and it was a weird death because it molted and curled up and died. That is kind of what happened to my rose hair, unfortunately. I thought that he had just molted like normal, and he was definitely a boy, by the way. Like, he had tibial hooks and everything. But that's kind of what happened with my rose hair. He molted, and I thought everything was fine, and it turns out I guess he just died in his molt, which sucks, but I am not afraid to, you know, say my mistakes. It's my mistake and shouldn't have happened, but now I know better. So I never pick by color on snakes. The one time I did, my corn snake, he turned mean on me. Look at her. She thinks she's going somewhere. Do snake bites hurt? It depends on the snake, but ball pythons don't, and neither do corn snakes. Can you do a rabbit care video? I'm not really sure I'm qualified as far as rabbits go because I still don't know that much on their care. I do know enough to know that I don't have the space for a rabbit though. How long have you had your tarantula? I have had her for at least 3 years now. At least. I want to say I had her since 2015, so 16, 17, 18. Yeah, something like that. 3 years. She's doing good. She's still got some more growing to do, though. She's not done. Like, so she's supposed to be bigger than this. So mainly the fish belong to my guy. The rest belongs to me, though. Which animal have you had the longest? So the oldest pet we have is Bugsy. He is my really old cat. He is 13? Yeah. But he's a super old cat. Yeah. Can you shout out to my dog? Boone, he is an English Mastiff. Hi, Boone. Well, kind of. I wouldn't do anything crazy. I mean, that's all you can really do. I don't know what else you can really kiss, you know? Yeah, they're really sweet. People get so weird when I'm like, oh yeah, this animal is really sweet. When people like me who take care of tarantulas and snakes say that they're really sweet to people who don't know anything about them, what we mean is they are really docile, you know? Like, they're very tolerant of handling and things like that. Oop. How long do tarantulas usually live? It depends on if they're a male or female. So males live a very short life. They only live about 3 years or so. And females can live up to 15 years. So if you have a female, which I still don't really know, then that's great. But if you have a male, don't expect it to live much longer than 3 years. So, like I said, 3 years, still no tibial hook. So possibly have a female here. That's what I'm starting to think. When I got my rose hair and, you know, I want your eyebrows shaped. Oh, well, these are like not exactly fully my eyebrows though, because I have a lot of like makeup on them. But what was I saying? Yeah, the females definitely live longer. Yeah, it's a very big difference. So the problem is you won't really know if you have a female or a male when you first get them. So I do think that I have a female with me now though, because it's been a few years, and at this size, my rose hair already had his tibial hooks. So if she doesn't have tibial hooks yet, I really am thinking I have a female now. Yeah. You guys should see tarantulas eat their food. It's amazing to see them hunt. And when I say that they literally catch something in the blink of an eye, it is in the blink of an eye. Like, you can miss it really quick. I am getting a Syrian hamster soon, and I want to adopt one, but there are no breeders or adoptions near me at all. Only Petco and PetSmart. What should I do? Do you like Petco or PetSmart? See, here's the thing. I agree with people when they say that you should get something from a breeder. But do you realize how many breeders there actually are near people? It's not very often. It is not very often that you're going to find a rat breeder or a hamster breeder. So I don't judge people when they buy something from Petco or PetSmart. Like, I get it. Petco and PetSmart are not good places to get an animal because of the way they care for them. But sometimes you're left with no choice. Really. And it's not like you can't buy hamsters and rats online. Like, that isn't really a thing because it's insanely costly to do something like that because, you know, it's really hard to ship animals that can chew right through their boxes, you know? And it's a whole big issue. So I don't like Petco and PetSmart, but most people are lying if they say that they didn't get their animals, like certain hamsters and stuff, from Petco and PetSmart. Now, when someone asks me about getting animals online as far as a tarantula or a reptile, those are easily shipped from reptile breeders. So I don't say anything against that because, like, I don't tell people to go to Petco or PetSmart because they can easily get it online, you know? But it's not the same when you're trying to get small animals. So, but if I had to choose, when it comes to standards, I guess technically PetSmart has a little bit better standards, but, you know, like, I got all my rats I got one rat from PetSmart, which was Oscar. I got Lucky from the exotic pet shop I worked at, and then I got Charlie from the exotic pet shop I worked at. They ended up being very, very, very great rats. I don't agree with where they came from, but like, what else can you really do? There are, if you want to drive a very long time sometimes to go get something from a breeder, be my guest, you can do that. But not everyone can do that. So sometimes you have to be realistic. How do you tell a snake's age? Obviously the length, head size. Sometimes you can also determine by their sex as well. But like if you have like a 3-foot ball python, it's probably a few years from then. It's probably like maybe you could do 4 years or something like that. And you can tell if something's a hatchling. Hatchlings are super small. I went to Petco. One of the gerbils were sick. Well, I mean, they don't take good care of them. It's true. And you guys also have to remember that where Petco and PetSmart gets their animals are usually from bad vendors. That's the real issue. A lot of people get mad when Petco has sick animals, but Petco themselves should not be getting them from the terrible vendors that they do. But the vendors at its very core are the ones making those animals sick. You know, because I know, because also I worked at those places when I didn't know any better. I was just like, I need a job, and, but I worked at one of them, and, well, both of them, and, it is what it is. Is it okay to give a mouse antibiotics? Yeah, of course. Of course, make sure it's obviously from your vet, but your vet will tell you if you need antibiotics or not. Also, Pedialyte is really great when you're having issues with your hamster and if they have wet tail or anything like that. Of course, you need to do it way ahead of time before the wet tail gets bad, but also Pedialyte is just a great thing to be giving to sick animals as well. Well, sick hamsters and stuff like that. Okay, you guys, so that is the end of this stream today. Say goodbye to Xena. Bye, Xena. I'm going to put her up now for good so that she doesn't have to deal with being handled too much. But I thank everybody for coming. Thank everybody who, even very little audience. I really, really appreciate any of you guys coming and taking the time out of your day to hear what I have to say and see my pets and things like that. So I'll see you guys again next Tuesday, again at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Every Tuesday I'm doing live streams. See what I'm going to feature on the next Pet Feature Live. So as you guys know, I'm featuring lots of pets on Pet Feature Live. So I will see you guys next time. Hopefully you can make it. And even if you can't, just share the streams with your friends and family and whoever you can. So I'll see you guys next time.